In this 21st century, business ownership is not an option, but rather a necessity. So let me ask, are you tired of working for someone else, lining their pockets from your skills and sweat equity? Are you ready to use your drive and ability to own and operate your own personal care business? MBHS of Georgia has helped thousands of everyday people, including nurses and healthcare professionals, retire early, turn in keys and badges, surrender medication cards, and realize a lifestyle they never envisioned. Don't just take my word for it. Schedule a consultation and let successful entrepreneur, RN, and personal care business consultant, Mr. Ernest G. Flagg, tell you himself.
And I'm back. Nursing and Behavioral Health Services. Ernest Flagg is my name. We're in Tennessee talking about creating a residential habilitation facility in Tennessee. That's a group home specifically for DD, IDD individuals. We're talking about the Prader-Willi, the autism, Asperger's, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, those specific populations of individuals right there. And as well, getting clients from the state, contracting with the state. Now, this particular segment is part two. It won't entail contracting with the state. That's credentialing through Tennessee Department of Disability Services. That's another segment. But here we're focusing on licensing, getting that home license, what's necessary. There was a part one to this, and we briefly gave you the website. We briefly talked about some very important things, gave you the website address to where you can ascertain the application and the relevant attachments for licensing the home, and also showed you, gave you some other information, but showed you how, discussed the relevance of those specific elements, okay? And now I'm just going to expand on some of those things that were discussed because it was a very quick video. I was told I talk too much, I was told I do too much and give too much information away in videos, but I like to see, I want to always give more and empower that next person to be able to move forward and do what they need to do and making their business ownership a reality. Group homes, group homes, group homes, group homes, group homes. We specialize in home care agencies and other personal care business models, but this particular video is going to focus on the group home, getting started, getting licensed. Getting licensed is totally different than getting credentialed. And because you're licensed, it doesn't mean you're going to get credentialed. And getting credentialed, it means you got a contract with the state, and they will be giving you residence. Your residence will primarily come from them. You will not likely be in a position to mix populations. Oh, take care of my mom, take care of my dad. That typically will not happen when you get your home license and credentialed by, the department. Yeah, the department, state department. You will be able. They want all those beds. They're greedy like that. They want those beds. So taking care of my mom, my dad, that may not be possible in that particular environment because they want those beds. And typically, dealing with home and community-based waiver, they don't want populations mixed. They don't want to see a Prader-Willi individual or an individual with autism, Asperger's, Down syndrome mixed with more high-functioning individuals on the mental health side that could potentially take advantage of them, cause some issues of that caliber, or even different. Okay, so licensing the home, what does that entail? We talk about a lot of things. We talk about the locks on the doors got to be a certain way. You're going to need grab bars on the side of the toilet, grab bars in the tub, and you're going to need other essential safety mechanisms throughout the home. Hardwired interconnected smoke detector system, of course. You will need a plethora of other items in the home to ensure compliance and before the state come out, because when the state comes out, and they're going to come out as soon as you complete that application on this page, as soon as you go over here, go down here, click this application and file this application along with the relevant attachments, state is going to come. I can assure you they're going to come. You give the state what they want, they're going to come. We talked about the different regions here, that you will have to put an application in each region. If it is a home, the license stays with the home. If it is habilitation, residential habilitation services you're looking for, you will have to put an application in each one of these regions. You will also have to pay for that application in these different regions. Okay? So we'll come down here and go to the application. Now, that home is going to be central point here. There's going to be a fire and safety wellness inspection that has to be done. You may have to call zoning and see what zoning requirements may have to be. But I always tell people, before you buy that home, before you lease that home, irrespective to where it is, take that address before you. While you don't even own the home, take that address down to zoning and to the fire department and to the health department and see if they have any considerations or any concerns regarding what it is you want to do. They'll give that information to you. They'll email it to you. They'll put it on paper. In fact, ask for it in paper. Ask for them to refer you to the licensing rules so you'll have it. So again, I'm giving you this piece. Before you finish this initial application, and before you even buy the home, and definitely before you put this application in. No. Before you put this application in, and definitely before you buy or lease the home, go to those three agencies. Go to fire. Go to zoning, which is planning department. Go to the health department and contact the state department and figure out and ask them what it is that you need to do in order to turn this home into a licensed residential setting to care for individuals who are developmentally disabled. Now, typically 3 or 4 home and community-based waiver standards, they don't really want more than 3, definitely more than 4 individuals in a home. They don't. So you can get 6 bedrooms, 8 bedrooms, or whatever, but I promise you, you really don't want that, because with this particular population, you want it small, and you want to be able to take care and provide I know we want to maximize our money. You know what I'm saying? If that be the case, run down to Michigan. That's one of the reasons Michigan has come up as one of the better states to do this particular project in, because you can get a sprawling ranch home in Michigan. You can have up to 6 individuals in the home. Absolutely. Under the Home and Community-Based Waiver Program, absolutely. Still giving individuals their individual rooms, which is what I like to do. But you have to check with that local government and those agencies I told you about, because they will tell you. And not only will they tell you, they will give it to you in writing. If you ask for it in writing, you want it in writing. And do this before you buy the home. Do this before you lease the home, so that you can be knowledgeable and make informed decisions about moving forward. Okay, now, said that about licensing, and said that about, we talked about some of the compliance issues in the home. Every bedroom needs a bed, a dresser, a mirror, a chair with arms on it, a nightstand, a mirror. Put the mirror, make sure it's affixed to the wall, make sure it's not glass. Okay, talked about fire extinguishers in part 1, where you're going to lock up your chemicals. Other things that might be of consideration, definitely your staffing ratio. We prefer ranch-style homes. I always advocate for ranch-style homes because you can monitor that home on one level. From any aspect of the home, you can monitor that home and keep the wheels turning. With that 2-level home, it presents a major problem. It's going to present a major problem with ensuring the health and safety of the individuals. Keep in mind, these individuals drinking, possibly smoking, likely having sex, likely engaged in human life events before they even came to your group home. So giving them that, having that double level home, it's going to create more issues with monitoring and also affect your staffing ratio, because now you certainly got to have 2 people on every shift, even when the acuity is down, because if that person is upstairs, who's monitoring that person? Acuity is down, though. I mean, their acuity is down, but there's a risk with that person being upstairs. So whether the acuity is down, individuals are relaxed, they're calm, they're in their rooms, not active. Yeah, acuity in that aspect might be down, but the safety risk is still there with that individual having a second floor, a second level home. Now, moving into this application, this is the application that you're going to be completing. Almost every aspect of this application talks about the business model, talks about your program model, talks about staffing ratio, staffing plan. Are you going to have 2 shifts or 2 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week? Are you going to have 3 8-hour shifts Monday through Friday and just 2 shifts? I'm sorry, then 2 shifts on the weekend, 2 12-hour shifts on the weekend. That affects that type of conversation, and that type of knowledge and planning must have already been made before you come into doing this application. You want to know, are we an LLC? Are we a corporation? If so, we're going to need to have, if you're LLC, likely an advisory board in place, 5 to 7 member advisory board in place. One of the persons on the advisory board being someone with a disability, the other person on the advisory board being someone with a family member that has a disability. You definitely want someone with healthcare experience, legal experience on your advisory board. If you're an LLC, if you're a corporation, you likely will have a board. So this is the type of conversation and information you need to have planned out in your business model before you start completing this application. This is the type of stuff that you need to have in place. So who are your members of your board, your advisory board or your board of governors? You need all their contact information because it's going to be relevant. You see how on this application it's got an asterisk by physical address? That's telling you right now, you got to have a home with a physical address already before you even complete this application. A lot of questions have come in on this free question thing that they didn't put up at our agency, and then people put all these questions in, just putting all these questions in. But a lot of the questions centers around it. Do I need a home? Yes, you need a home. Unless you're going to do, well, you need a home, period. If you're going to do residential habilitation services, you see as an asterisk here, they want an address here. So go from there. Who's the head person there? Who's going to be the chief executive officer or the director of the company? You're going to need their resume. They need to have experience in this area, well vetted out person. Or is it going to be a managing agency? If so, you're going to have to identify the managing agency and the lead person in that management agency that will be doing or ensuring or doing oversight for the day-to-day affairs of your group home, of your residential habilitation facility. Group home is a generic term nationally that's being used, and it almost fits for every model. So if I say group home, because I'm talking about Tennessee, I'm referring to residential habilitation facility because we only do specialized facilities here at Nursing and Behavioral Health Services, only specialty facilities involving medically fragile populations or individuals who are DD, IDD, or along the spectrum. Your organizational structure, they need to know. Tell me about your organizational structure. Who is who? From the president all the way down to direct care worker, where's your organizational chart? Are you an LLC? Are you a corporation? Who's the governing body? We talked about the board of directors versus the advisory council if you're an LLC. Choose the option that best describes you. Background and history. They want to know. Provide us with these documents. Establish that you're not that you're able to legally be here in the United States and operate such a business. Ask them basic questions. They want references. Have you ever had a license taken from you, revoked? Do you have a criminal background? They want to know. They want to know the educational experience. So the resume of the individual that's going to be put up as the director, as the lead person here. Their resume needs to be impeccable, and all of their references on the resume need to be on point, and all the jobs and skills need to define and show their skill set. That resume should be done by a professional. It should not be taken lightly because that particular person has standards that they will need to meet as the director, as the clinical director or key person in this particular agency, they will have standards that they need to meet. And the standards is particularly are so many years, and as well, so much time working with a specific population. Children, if you're going after adults, children don't. If you're going to want to care for adults, working with kids, that's not same level of service, same experience set. It's not very different in that regard. Very, very different. Are there two applicants that need to be identified? If so, put their information here. We want to know about it. Okay? We want to know. They want to know about financial resources. There again are attachments, financial attachments. They want to know about the board of governors, and they want to know about the fact sheet, which delineates and asks specific information about the home, the population you're going to serve. Very, very specific information they want to know about, and you need to get with your team as a provider or potential prospective provider. Need to get with your team. Look at these questions on that fact sheet and really define your business model well in advance of answering these questions, because those questions are very specific, and you want to have, and how you answer those questions really dictate the level of thought that you have put into running the day-to-day affairs of a group home that services individuals who are developmentally disabled. Care coordination considerations need to be made. Transitional, admission, discharge, exclusionary criteria. How do we handle, you're definitely going to need a human rights committee. You're going to need a number of different things to put in place to show. You're going to need a number of things put in place and the design and thought out in your business plan, on your programming, to help answer these questions in advance, because this is going to be when they license a home and you get this particular home license, they're licensing it as if you can take off running. When they hand you that license, they assume you can take off running at that point and manage the day-to-day affairs of that business, but also incoming issues, okay, including financial issues. Can you sustain financially if payments are not come through right away from the government? Can you sustain 2 weeks or a month or 3 months, okay, in terms of food, staffing, making sure their staff are paid? Can you sustain that until payments finally start coming through? We talked about the fact sheet. We talked about the financial resources a little bit in one. This is how they determine if you can hold on. They want to make sure you're not coming into this and you broke and you're just running into this for a couple of dollars. Accreditation, certification status, they want to know, are you accredited by any of these particular bodies in advance? Give me some community reference. List below the names and email addresses of 3 persons or organizations who can attest to the applicant's responsible and reputable character, and to the applicant's ability to conduct this facility. You're gonna need 3 people. So these 3 people need to be 3 people who can speak intelligently about you. Don't make them no family references, because all they got to do is ask the word how, and if that family member don't know anything about this particular business or your capacity to run such a business, then I don't know they're not going to come off as credible as a reference. So make sure that the reference you provide is a reference that can, as it indicates up here, attest to the applicant's responsible, reputable character or reputation and ability to conduct the facility providing these services to this vulnerable population. So just be aware and go through this application methodically, and as well, all of its attachments, okay, well in advance of filing it and completing it, and put some serious thought into this before you submit it, okay? Put some serious thought before you come down here and click that submit button, because once you click that submit button, it's on. Now, when you do click that submit button, keep in mind that you will have to, at some point, come back and complete these particular forms here. Your financial, your board of directors or advisor, the fact sheet, etc., and submit these documents with your application. And submit these documents with your application. They're going to want these documents as well. Okay. Now, each of these documents are generic documents, but they are intense. They're intense. They're asking very specific information. For example, the financial sheet. You can't just run through that boy and just run through it. You have to methodically complete that form to show not only are you financially sound, but also you understand the monthly financial necessities associated with running a residential habilitation facility of 6 individuals. For example, consideration of bars and soap, soap, food, office supplies, etc. You need to be able to estimate that in some type of way. DDA Licensure Board of Director Advisory Board form. You'll need the contact information of all the individuals of your board, and you want to make sure that the people on your board bring something to the table. They're credible in some type of nature. They got a degree or some type of skill set or unique experience that will actually benefit the facility, your agency. Then you got the fact sheet, which is going to be very, very detailed and asking some specific questions about running your business and the home that you're trying to license. Remember, that license stay with the home. So if you change, you want to open up another one, you get another one, you can't transfer that license and just pop that home open and start running that home and calling the state talking about I got vacancies, etc., or calling the support coordinator, say over here, that home has to go through the entire process again. That first home went through to get licensed, the whole thing, policies, procedures, program materials, compliance issues, cleaning the house up, furnishing every room of the house as if you're ready to take a client that day. They want to see that house furnished and fully functional and ready. Exit signs over the doors, a hardwired interconnected smoke detector system, fire extinguishers on the wall and label. They want to see your resident registry, your visitors book, your policies and procedures, your full set of policies and procedures on the premises, where employee records and client records will be stored. It's fair game. It's fair game. When you put that licensing application in, it's fair game. Another thing I want to say is stop trying to just look at the minimal standards. I don't care where you at, Texas, 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 North Carolina, Georgia, Michigan, Virginia, DC, Maryland. Stop just looking at the minimum standards and the minimum set of policies and procedures that they asking you to send them. That's the minimum the minimum set. What about the full set? The minimum set, you cannot run a full program of this nature on the minimum set of standards that yes, you may get licensed, you might even get close to getting by, but when that state consultant comes out, he does not have to stop at those minimum sets. He can ask you now, where are your full set of policies, procedures, your clinical policies, where are your HR policies and procedures? I want to review those as well. So I wish you well. Nurse Flag, Nursing and Behavioral Health Services. If you need a consultation, get with us, and we will do our very best to help make your business dream a reality. Have an awesome day, and it's about time we turn in those keys and badges and move on to independence and start looking at what we can do to be independent in terms of our life, bringing us extra income stream in, and stop making everybody else rich.